Kumlen Ablat Gemara, the Gemara for Sotah for Achron Shel Pesach Daf Tezvav Amud Aleph, and this is the Gemara here. We are up to the middle of the page. Our Mishnah is contrasting a korban mincha of a Sotah to other korban minchas. Kol minchas says the Gemara kol mincha to the shemen ulevoina, that all of the korban, all the menachas, they require oil and frankincense. What about the mincha of a sinner? The Rachmana Matera says we don't want the mincha of a sinner, flour offering of a sinner, to have any oil in it. Don't put frankincense. Don't make it nice. Don't enhance it. So what are you making such a big deal about the Sotah as if it's unique? It's not unique at all. This is what we mean. All the menachas require oil and levaina ubayis. Menachit, it comes from the wheat ubayis, and it comes seiles. It comes flour, fine flour. Minchas chayte, a minchas chayte. In other words, we don't really need everything, but it has some of the features. A minchas chayte, it doesn't require oil and levaina. It still has the feature and advantage that it comes from that chashivas, that it comes from wheat, or seiles, it comes from fine flour. Minchas aimer as well. Minchas aimer, the mincha you bring for korban aimer, avapishi bum, as it comes from barley, but to the shemen requires oil, frankincense, or get it, and it's fine barley. You have to so many times sifting it through, 13 times. Do ain't a tuna, but a Sotah loy shemen, loy levaina, no oil, no levaina. Uba minas, it comes from barley. Uba kemach and coarse flour. Tanya learned, Amar Shimon. Bedinu, the truth of the matter is, should take minchas chayta. The truth of the matter, minchas chayta, sinner, sin. Why should they get off cheap? They shouldn't have to contribute oil and frankincense. We don't know. They should benefit the sinner. Why don't they have to bring it? We don't want the chayta to have an enhanced carbon. We want it to feel humble by the kind of carbon he brings, so they should realize the gravity of their sin. Every chatas is called chatas chelik, because that's what it says, it's called chelik, and so it's just the standard. The name is chatas chelik. Also should require nesachim, libations. Why should get off cheap? Why not? We don't have to feel, that enhanced, so that they feel humbled and realize the gravity of the sin. But the chatas of a material where there's no sin involved, and the carbon asham guilt offering he brings to they do require libations because there's no sin involved. There's no sin involved. So what are we talking about? It's not so. We had more erchen. We'll have more erchen. Al shiva dvarim the going blind. There are 7 different causes for leprosy, and there's besides lashon hara, there's murder and other things. So it is coupled to a sin. So the leprosy is the kapara. They already had atonement. So now when we talk about their korban, it's not an atonement here. It's not it's there. The only reason we korbanos is to enable them to be able to eat from kosher. Therefore, you're allowed to have these additional features. That's why they bring the sachem. So chatas nazir, the chatas of a nazir brings tehei tuhun and the sachem should require the sachem as well. Should have libations because there's no sin there. Not talking about a nazir tummy, but a nazir tummy. What sin did he commit? Or she? They didn't commit a sin, so they should have to have the sachem, and they don't. It says the Gemara, the Amar says nazir nami chaytu. Nazir is a sinner. And this is very controversial. Of Taisas, the long Taisas here points out, doesn't really explain here well. Doesn't explain here. Other Taisas in Nazir, Darim, Tainus, and other places. When Rabbi Elazar Kapor says that because he's committed a sin, Shmuel says, somebody fasts. It's a sin because if you tzir atzim, if you deny yourself drinking wine, you have to bring it from b'chata. Surely, if you fast. In other words, Rabbi Elazar Kappa, when he said that a nazir is a sinner, was he referring to a nazir tamei? And because he's extending the time, therefore we say that he's not going to meet it anymore. It's too laborious. Or is he talking about even an ordinary nazir? But Taisas in a few other places says, not here, but another place says that a nazir, according to Elazar Kappa, did commit a sin. But the mitzvah of Naziris overrides the sin. Just like if somebody has a tainus chol, has a nightmare dream on Shabbos, we tell him to fast on Shabbos. But then on Sunday he has to fast to do tshuva for fasting on Shabbos. Why tell him to fast on Shabbos? So we say, true, there's a little bit of there that this person fasts on Shabbos, but the good thing that the person did, the mitzvah that the person did, overrides the little aveda. And Taisa uses that to explain all the different, reconcile all different Gemaras, where Lezer Kappa seems to say sometimes it is a sin, sometimes it's a mitzvah. So there is a small sin involved, but there's great mitzvah. And therefore the Gemara said, by the fact that there's a small sin involved, therefore, at least for that reason, there shouldn't be any nesachim wine libations. Says the Gemara, Rabbi says, Kishem, Tanya, we learn, Rabbi says, because behaves like an animal, therefore it's barley, which is the father of an animal. Tanya Amalan Chachamim Seifri Hanicha Liva Deshan. Why don't you allow me? Say, hold them scribes. Why don't you allow me now Dashnim? Can you like some nice jewelry? This is basically a choker that you or something you use to clip your shirt together. He said, he heard a mayor say, in the first page that you were talking about measure for measure, and Meir said, therefore, we give them barley because she went out of her way to give wonderful food, so therefore, in return, she would give her bad food or inferior food. Barley, he give all these wonderful sweets, therefore, in turn, she eats animal fodder. On Malay, he said, that makes sense if she's a wealthy woman, so she obviously enticed this man through food. But a poor person, she couldn't afford to entice him with food. She behaves like an animal. If the Quran also is like an animal. Says the Mishnah, next Mishnah. Maybe continuing on what happened there in the base of Mikdash, they brought pilei shel cheres, a cup for liquids, shel cheres made out of clay. You place inside it like mayim, 2 revision of water minakir. They drew it from the kir, from that basin that was standing in the base of Mikdash, right in front of the base of Mikdash, between the base of Mikdash and the Mizbech. Rabbi Yehuda says only a revius, not 2 revision, but a single revius. Just like he says, we use less words on the parchment, as we'll discuss later in the Gemara, because using less of Hashem's name. So too, we use less of the water. Nichlis lehechel. I went to Mikdash. Upon the minute, turned right. Umakamay Sham. There was an area there, Amalama, a square amma, but Tavla shel shayish, and there was a board, I guess, made out of marble. But Tabas has a but there was a ring that was permanently connected to it. And he would lift that. We lift that the little block. The neitel of they would take sand from beneath it. So this is the sand, the karka of the Mishkan, and they would place it in the water. And they would place it, and that should sort of float in the water, that it becomes visible. So it says, from the sand that is in the karka of the Mishkan, the kohen should take the nasan elamayim. Doesn't say b'mayim elamayim into the water, it should still be visible. First of all, we learned in a Braisa, Pili Shel Cheres Chadasha Dibra Bishmal. Bishmal argued Chacham, he holds it has to be a brand new a glass. My time a wider Bishmal Gamar, he learns that Keli Mitzvah. He learns that it says Klei Cheres here by a site. It says Klei Cheres by Mitzvah. Malahal Cheres Chadasha by Mitzvah has to be brand new. Afkan Cheres Chadasha here too has to be brand new. How in the world do we know it has to be brand new by Mitzvah? How do you know that? See, it says what you do by Mitzvah is the first time around. You bring 2 pigeons, one you're going to send away, and one you're going to shech. And then it says you shech the bird, the klicheres, inside a klicheres, into the earthenware, el mayim chaim, there's mayim chaim there, and then the blood goes in there. And then you take the other bird, the living bird, and you place it in there. Mayim chaim shleinasim malacha, just like the mayim chaim. No work was done with it because it's comparing to Mayim Chaim. So too, the keli that you use you shouldn't do any work to be a brand new keli. So he therefore believes that Mitzvah is a brand new keli, and then we make it say keli. Same thing applies to a Satan, not like the Chachamim. If you're going to compare already to Mayim Chaim, Mayim Chaim, so why don't you say that you can't just use the water of the key, or you should use water, spring water? When it says you're right. The kir is spring water. Rabbi Shmuel is consistent with his view that he holds that the water of the kir was spring water. Chum say no, it was any other water. Equally, we're going to ask by By the way, normally by Gzei Shabbat, the whole argument is if you're going to ask me questions that they're different from each other. So we generally say that if it's mufnim, if there's extra words on both sides, then you can't ask any questions. If it's mufnim, it's echad, and not mufnim at all, maybe you can. So we're now assuming that you can ask questions, says the Gemara. You can ask. Malam Mitzvah, you know why Mitzvah, you have all these requirements, she a brand new keli and so on, she can't throw an eight edit, Vishnu, so laws, you need all these additional things, the cedar tree and the hyssop and all that, and the thread. So therefore, maybe you also have that requirement. But who said you have that? Those requirements by Satan. Amar Abba Makra, it says a pasuk big clay cheres. It says by Satan, the kohen should take the water, the holy water, and place it big clay cheres, as if to say, in this clay cheres that I already talked to you about before, where else do we have this requirement for cheres by Mitzvah? And there it has to be a new keli. Same thing applies here. Keli shamat l'kva. The keli I already discussed with you before. Amar Rabba says, Rabba leishano. When are we talking about if it did not become, the face not become black? So our Tana says it doesn't have to be new. It could be even an old keli, but even an old keli cannot be black. I want this achnu pana, but it became black. Absolutely possible. My timer. Why would a Tanakama hold it? It became black as possible. Dumya the mai. It's similar to water. It says in the pasuk you have to put mai, so it has to be similar to water. Ma mai shleishtanu, water didn't change its color. Of keli shleishtanu, the keli also didn't change its color. Boy, you remember what happened is achnu ve'achzir. What happens if it, let's say, lost its color, lost its luster, became black, but you sort of rejuvenated it. You place it in the furnace, when it's slabbed, it became white again. Mao. The question is, this is a question we have in Sukkah and Sanhedrin, we have in a few places. The conclusion, if something was nitche, is a nitche for one thing, something was rejected forever, or you could always bring it back. So the question here is, and Taisa wants to know why we've been asking the question. In another place we ask the question, we remain with the tzorich. We don't really resolve it. We say, once it's rejected, so it became black, it's too late. But once you rejuvenate it, it's good enough. Tashma coming here. Lezer says, 8 you tied, let's say your thread, and you tied it to use your stick, and you tied something onto it, the basket, and you placed it behind your back, and it bent it out of shape. It's possible. Very easy to bend it back into shape. It seems to me once it's rejected. So you want to know how some of the equal, but they did a permanent damage, you peeled part of it, and that's why you cannot use it. And there's no proof one way or another. So again, we haven't the results. Telling on further, you go to the right. My time, I go to the right of the man. We have rule called pin and shata pine. We have a rule that every time you make a turn, is after the lay of that, we should always go to the right. Look for Yam Shashlimah. Base of the Shlomo made, and he had him in the position there he made. He went from north, and from north he went to west, and from west to south, and south to east. And that's how he counts them. So therefore we go left to right. Big mistake is actually Hitler's Hanukkah. You look at the times of how we're meant to like the Hanukkah candles. Because the way we light the Hanukkah candles, we start always from the newest candle, which is like going from the right, we're going to the left. Is that what it means when we say finish at the point? Others actually say you start from the very right of the candle and you begin from there and you work your way towards the left. Finish at the point, where do you mean? We go from left to right. So we say that what's called finish at the point, you go from left to right. And there's a question as well, when you do by Shalom and Shul, how do we turn? Like our couples around the bima, the lulav. We're actually going counterclockwise. We're going, we're going sort of left to right. So we're going to the right. And there's a famous question. If we're supposed to go from left to right, so how can we write Hebrew? We write from right to left. And that is one of the proofs that we say that you should go to the right means you should start from the right. And work your way. You start from the right and then you work your way to the left. That's called kapinch at the point. At the point you immediately go to the left. But and if we can't start from the right, go to the left. We say that it means go towards the right. So you're going from left to right. Why is it we write Lashon Kodesh? We write from right to left. So some extent explains beautifully that when we have the blank sheet of paper and we only have nothing written on it, we have to go all the way to the right. So we write the first letter, it's always right to the page. And now the next letter you have to again write to the available space on the page, which is all the way to the right. And you keep on going to the available space, you're always going to the right, and therefore it turns out to be you go from right to left. but you're still always going to the right. Meaning Ashkenaz and Boy Shalom is to go all the way around. It's to go clockwise. That's counterclockwise. So there are different ways of understanding Pinnash of the point of the Yemen. So as I go further. There's a place over there, the passage when I thought for for the dirt that should be in the ground. You collect the sand outside the base of Mikdash, and then you bring it in. I want you to use the ground of the Mishkan. You have to use the earth of the Mishkan. There's no loose dirt. You should take a shovel and dig. There should be as if it's already existing, no digging. Okay, so how's it work? Yes, if you have sand there available, bring that. Angel, if you don't have that, then bring it from outside. That's opinion number one. Tani Rice had two opinions here. The second opinion holds like the Rice we just learned previously. Tani Rice, I mean, after she then you take sand from outside and bring it in, and you would place it on the ground and then use that sand. Isa Ben Yehuda said the only question is, you bring it in. So the only question is, and you bring it in. So the question, if you just bring it in, what does he do with the words Karka Mishkan? What are the words Karka Mishkan? So he says here clearly, you bring sand from outside, you don't have to use the Karka Mishkan at all. So why does it say Karka Mishkan? So he says, he's going to say, what is the Karka Mishkan? Well, to tell you, Karka Shilai, after the Mishkan in the Midbar, we had then Mishkan Shilai, which is 300 and something years, and then, which is actually made of rock, and then we moved from there. And Mishkan Shilai, we had there the Or and everything. Then from there, they moved to Naib, there's no Aron, and then for a short time to Given, there's no Aron, and then Beis Halom, and then went to the Beis Hamikdash. The Mishkan, the Torah says Mishkan. So we would have thought only the Mishkan. But these ones here would not be included. And that's why Isa Ben Yehuda says, it says Karka. It says in the pasuk here, it says the Karka Mishkan, to include, which is actually to include also these, include everything. Says the Gemara, Rashi has a problem with the Gesek or Shila given where actually Shila is the Mishkan. So why wouldn't it be included in the first place? And not even given Taka, there were no mitzvah sites. The only chiddush here is based on Lamim because it's permanent. It's not like the Mishkan. So we need that to tell you that it goes to the Mishkan as well. Isa ben Menachem disagrees. He says, I hold like the previous price. No, I don't need to tell me that the Beis Hamikdash, the laws of sites apply. And you have to take the sand from the Mishkan. And then everything applies. For example, you're not allowed into the Beis Hamikdash while you're tummy. And you don't get punished, capital punishment in a bezin, but you do get chorus. And the makes no difference in Beis Hamikdash and the Mishkan. It says clearly that Kes Mikdash Hashem Timei, so it makes no difference. So the Tumas Aces even comes to an Aces Ish Chamura, which is stricter than a bezin here, will actually get involved in the capital punishment. Is Lekoshke, surely that the Beis Hamikdash Mishkan are all the same, and the one that you have to go ahead with the Sotah. I don't need to pass a post with that. Why mention Karka Mishkan? So you have to put sand. You should use the sand of the Mishkan. And don't use a box that you have at home which just sits there and collects dust. You should use the sand of the Mishkan. If you can, then you take sand outside, but you bring it there, you put it on the floor of the Beis Hamikdash. And it holds exactly like the first Tana. I think we'll stop here. Everyone have a good jump.